Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to have a look at a couple of products. So as a handyman I'm always asked from time to time to re-silicone showers. So I've done dozens of them so far and I've always used a product called Multisolve. I'll just grab that for you. So it's this product here which you spray onto the old silicone and it breaks it down so it's easier to remove. Been a good product, but there's a new boy in town. Just grab him. Xpro Super Solver. It does basically the same as the Multisolve, a little bit cheaper, but which is the best? So that's the test for today. While I'm stripping the shower down, I might as well try both products and see which comes out on top. Or is it going to be a draw? Let's find out. So as you can see here guys, we've got a really grotty shower. All the silicone's gone black and mouldy. So we've got to strip all this silicone out. We're not going to touch the grouting. The client will have to clean the grouting themselves. But yeah, my job is to strip all this old silicone out and get it all nice and refreshed with some nice white anti-mold silicone. So I thought it'd be a great test today. As you can see, I've marked it out there. So we're going to do the CTec Multisolve on the left, and over on the right hand side we're going to do the Xpro Super Solver. That's the new boy in town, so we'll give him a try. So I've roughly put a mark halfway across the back of the shower there. Hopefully it'll just keep a dividing line between one product and another. Now I'm going to break this test down into three different levels, should I say. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a Stanley knife and just put a little score a third of the way down the line. I'm just going to score it with a Stanley knife. Actually, we could do that live. Just grab my Stanley knife. So I'm just going to put just a couple of score lines like so, because you wouldn't necessarily put the Multisolve spray, the spray on the thicker bead of silicone. We've got to give it a chance to work. So that's as if you've been trying to cut the silicone out. So we'll do that to a third of the way down. I'll do it exactly the same on the far corner for the Xpro side, just to give it a fair test. In the middle section, I'm just going to leave it as the bead of silicone as it is. I'm not going to touch it. And then the last third, I'm going to scrape as much as I can out of that without any product. I'm just going to get, I always use an old chisel that isn't as sharp as it used to be. So I'll just use that just to scrape that silicone out and get as much of that silicone out as possible, and then we can put the spray over the top and just see at what level the product works the best. Will it break down the silicone as a whole bead? Will that work like that, or will it work best with score lines in it? Or obviously there won't be much silicone left, but there will be residues of silicone that we need to remove before we put down the new silicone, or else it won't stick on the base there and the tiles properly if you don't remove it all. So that's what we're going to do on both sides. Exactly the same test on both sides with two different products, Xpro Super Solver and CTec Multisolve. So I'll go ahead and do that now, and I'll come back to you just before we need to put the spray on. So guys, this is where we're up to. We've cut back the silicone there. Well, we haven't completely removed it all. There's still some residue that's stuck onto the shower base there and on some other side of the tiles. You can feel it with your finger. We've left a bead of silicone in the middle. We haven't touched that at all with anything. And then at the far end, we've scored into the silicone with a Stanley knife. Same on that side. Let's get ready to rumble! So in the blue corner, it's Multisolve by CTec, wearing the white headgear and the blue shorts. Let's give him a spray. So 5 sprays there, guys, on that side. And next up, in the red corner, by Xpro, it's the Super Solver, wearing the red headgear and the black with white shorts. You've got to add some drama to it, guys, haven't we? Give it a shake. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have noticed with this one, the spray comes out a lot more. You get more product out of the spray. So I know this side's had about 30 seconds longer, but we're going to leave it now for 5 minutes. It doesn't say on the cans how long to leave it for. It just said leave it to work, so that's what I'm going to do. And that's what I normally do with these sprays, is leave it for about 5 minutes, and we come back to it and see what the results are after 5 minutes. And then I might just leave it another 5 minutes after that, just to see if it does work a little bit after leaving it a little bit longer. So the sprays are on now, guys, and we'll come back to you in 5 minutes. So guys, the bell's just gone, first round. Let's have a look now after 5 minutes. So we'll have a look at the CTec Multisolve side first. As we can see, where we scraped all the silicone out the best we could, it's the Multisolve, will it focus in? The Multisolve, it's just started to make the silicone that's still stuck to the tiles like a ripple effect. Whether you can see that, guys, is a bit difficult to see, but it's just started to ripple in that area there. In the middle section, where it's the full bead of silicone, to be honest, it hasn't touched it. Nothing there at all. And on the right hand side, where we scored it with a Stanley knife, there's a tiny bit that's just coming out there, but the rest hasn't changed. So that's after 5 minutes. So we'll move across to the Xpro Super Solver. So on the left hand side, where we scored out the silicone, we got most of it out. Excuse me. Not much to see there. But when you do, let me just grab my chisel. So it has made it easier to remove after 5 minutes. The silicone does feel like a bit like chewing gum. Let's just quickly go back to the other side to give it a fair test. So this is the CTec Multisolve side. That hasn't come away as yet, but the bits that have come off the side feel very similar to the other side, the Xpro, like a chewing gum consistency. So Going back to the Xpro Multisolve side, in the middle section, it's quite a thicker bead than the other side, to be honest. But it has started to lift it. Try and get the light for you guys. Difficult to see, but where the end of my chisel is, it has started to lift it slightly. Is he going to focus? There you go. You can see it's starting to ripple on the edges. And then moving across to where we scored it, no difference. Nothing whatsoever. So I would say after 5 minutes from that test, guys, not a lot in it. I think we're even Stevens, a draw so far. So we're going into round 2 now. We're going to give it 5 more minutes. This is the final round, and we'll see if there's any difference whatsoever after 5 minutes. And that's the end of round 2, and the fight is now over. So anyway, guys, on a serious note, let's have a closer look at a 10-minute mark, just to see if there's any difference whatsoever. See if there's any clear winner. Hopefully we can get a better shot this time and zooming in. So hardly any change on the left hand side of the CTec Multisolve. But it does scrape off quite easily with a chisel or a scraper. You won't have any problems getting that off. As you can see, it's breaking off nice and easy. So it does break it down. You go into the middle section where we had the complete bead that we didn't touch, we didn't scrape, we didn't cut into, we just sprayed the spray onto. That is completely as it is. It hasn't changed one bit. And we go to the right hand side where we put a score line in with a Stanley knife. Again, no difference. That hasn't moved at all. None of it started to peel away. So that's after the 10-minute mark on the CTec Multisolve. Move across to the Xpro Multisolve side now. And yeah, again, that scrapes off lovely. There's hardly any residue left at all on that. So we could hoover all this off then, and we could just run around with a bit of blue roll or rag, tissue, and clean it all off and get the surface ready for the new silicone. In the middle section, it hasn't moved on any further than we said, apart from it had started to ripple on the edges there. And then a little bit further down, but no movement on that whatsoever. And then in the far corner where we put the score lines in with the Stanley knife, nothing at all. That hasn't changed one bit either. So I think we haven't got a clear winner really, guys. I think it's just down to personal preference. The Xpro is slightly cheaper, only a couple of pounds cheaper. But I think they must be quite similar products. Now whether, I can't say whether they're the same product but just being sold to different manufacturers like some companies do, and just like rebranded, whether it's a similar product that's doing that, because we are getting quite the similar results on both sides. But what I would say is it does work best. Both sides are the same. It does work the best when you've actually started to scrape some of the silicone away first, and you're just trying to get the last little bits of silicone off before you put the new down, because it just scrapes away then. I think if you can get this most of the silicone off in the first place, then spray it on, that's when it works the best. Both products exactly the same. So yeah, there's no clear winner there, guys. So we'll have a little bit of fun in the process to find out. and I hope you like the video. If you use CTec Multisolve or the Xpro Super Solver, or you've used both like we're trying out today, which one have you found to be the best? Have you found it to be more or less the same as what I found today? It'd be interesting to find out. If you could leave your comments down below. We have a little bit of discussion about that. That'd be great. So yeah, I've learned a lesson today. I wasn't sure which one was the best, so now that we've sorted that issue out, depending on if there's any on offer, that's the one I'll buy. So if the Multisolve's cheaper, I'll buy that. If the Xpro is cheaper, I'll buy that. But there's no clear winner. So all I've got to say now, guys, is thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and please don't forget to hit the like button, and please subscribe to my channel, as it really helps. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.